Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I haven't done a walk in a while, and as you can see, everything is starting to turn. Look at this. So I thought that I'd come out and do a little walk and talk video with you all while the weather is still okay for me to be out here and doing walk and talk videos. Right now it's about, I think I saw it at like 37 degrees or something like that. So pretty soon I'll be harvesting my potato crop for this year. We'll see how that turns out. And I'm actually doing this walk here about an hour and a half or so before our live stream today on Sunday. So I'll probably put this out later on tonight. And let me remind you all, or let me let you know, I put out a video on Rumble yesterday, I think it was. And so if you want to go take a look at that video, go ahead and go to Rumble. Just search for Alaska Prepper and you'll be able to find it. And as I was uploading that video, I started reading some of the guidelines on YouTube, and I was like, wait a minute, I don't think I should be uploading this video onto YouTube. So if you want to go check it out, go check it out. It's up on Rumble right now. But ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to talk to you about the world. You know, the world does not want to be saved. I remember someone telling me this once. They say you can do what you can do to try to save the world, but the world doesn't want to be saved. And you have to prepare for yourself and your family and your community. There is so much ugliness out there in the world. And I'm not trying to make this a downer video, but I see all of the things that are going on. And, you know, I'm going to talk about this briefly. Someone asked me during our last live stream, what did I think about the death of the Queen Elizabeth, I think it is. And I said, well, you know what? There's not too much that I think about it. And I just see all of these videos where people are talking really bad. And I personally, I'm not going to talk bad about someone, especially if they just passed. And if I have opinions about those people, then I'll keep them to myself. Because is that the way that you would... All right, now, listen. I'm sure that a lot of people here, I'm not for the Queen. I'm not for a monarch, personally. I'm not for a country having a monarch that's over the people. I'm for freedom, right? Period. Anyone that's been here for a while knows that. I am for freedom. However, I think there's a book somewhere that says, you know, something like, treat others the way that you want to be treated. And, you know, going through the comments, which I don't do very much because there's just too many of them. Going through the comments, there's a lot of people out there in YouTube world that don't like what I do. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But they very freely express it. So why would I talk bad about anyone, first of all, which I really wouldn't. And if I did have some bad feelings about someone, be it in YouTube or anywhere, I would keep it to myself. At the very most, I would talk about it like with my wife, right? And that's it. I wouldn't go out there, you know, saying anything bad about anyone. And unless it's the government. You all know that's where I stand. But I see all of this negative energy everywhere about, whoa, she did this and she did. Ladies and gentlemen, if we could just start standing in front of a mirror. If we can start standing in front of a mirror and looking at ourselves and realizing that we are not perfect. And also realizing that we all, it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter who you are. We all want to be treated well. You know, we don't want people trampling on us after our demise, after we're gone. Anyways, this video is not about, you know, Queen Elizabeth. I just wanted to comment on how much hate there is everywhere. And it's true, the world doesn't want to be saved. You can tell someone that is set on a specific topic, you can tell them water is wet, and they will disagree with you just because you don't agree with their ideology, right? So there's many people that when we go through this shift, when we go through whatever transition it is that we're going to be going through as a world, because we are entering into a new paradigm as a world, not just as a country. We are also entering into a new paradigm as a country here in the United States of America, but I also believe as a world. Yes, I still believe that good will win over evil, but it's going to be a long and hard-fought battle before we get to that place where we want to be. And what I caution those people that are always putting out negative energy towards everyone else is that they're going to be the ones that have the least chance of survival during some type of a systemic crisis. And the reason I say that is this. It's because a lot of people that feel that type of way, a lot of those people think that the government is going to be there to take care of them. And boy, I'll tell you what, they're going to be really, really angry when they find out that the government's not going to be there for them. Why do you think that all of these millionaires, billionaires are getting a plan to bug out? Do you think it's because they think things are going to be all right? Now, you have to understand, these people are very wealthy. And they hire, some of the most intelligent people in the world to provide them with intel. To tell them what are the chances of this happening or that happening. So there's going to be a bunch of people, especially those right now, that think that the right thing to do is for the government to take care of you. You are going to suffer the most. And you can go out there, I know in the last year or so, there's been like a record amount of gun sales by people that have never owned guns. You can go out there and get all the guns you want. It's not going to help you. Those people that are going to turn to the sword in order to provide themselves with sustenance will eventually be weeded out. You are going to be eating each other. Unfortunately, I don't want that to happen, but it's going to happen. Because society, the way it is now, with all of the corruption, with all of the ugliness, with all of the evil, and with so many people cheering on for that evil, society is not going to last much longer in the form that it is now. So prepare, because if you're not prepared, no one's coming to your rescue. And there's so many things going on at the same time that there's no way that we can keep up with current events. There's just no way. I mean, I put out a video every single day, just about every day. I don't think I will one today, with new news of things that are going on that we need to look at so that we can mitigate the probabilities of those things affecting our standard of living in the future. And these are all valid things. I don't look for things and try to make things up. No, these are things that are actually going on. Remember, we live in a very small world because of technology. So what's happening in Europe or the UK, we find out immediately here across the pond, as well as in most other places in the world. I mean, I can pick almost any subject. And I can pick one of my favorite subjects to talk about. And that's the economy, financials, financial system. Just that alone, ladies and gentlemen, just that one thing alone. If you are not now prepping and you want to be encouraged to prep, just research our financial system and our economy. And not just ours, but the world's. And it will show you that there is no way out whatsoever. There is no way out. And if you don't prepare, you are not going to make it. Just the United States alone has borrowed so much energy from the future. And why do I say that it's borrowed so much energy? Let's try to see if that confuses some people. Let me explain to you. When you borrow money, let's say you go and borrow $50,000 to buy a cheap car, right? $50,000 will buy you a cheap car nowadays, right? Let's say you go borrow $50,000 from whatever bank you want to borrow from at whatever interest rate, it doesn't matter. What you are effectively doing is you're consuming a product today that you have given your word, your promise, right? Promissory note. You've given your promise that you're going to pay back with future earnings. Well, how do you earn money? You have to give of your time and your labor, right? And of course, your skills and all that kind of stuff. But that kind of relates to how much you earn per hour, right? But you have to give of your time or your labor, and that's your energy. So when you borrow money, when you take out whatever kind of a loan it is, you are promising your future labor to that institution that you borrowed the money from. Well, look at the United States, where our national debt, I believe, is at almost $31 trillion now. And our unfunded liabilities, meaning the promises that the government has made to the American people, i.e. Social Security, Medicare, retirements, et cetera, right? Our unfunded liabilities alone, in my opinion, are close to, if not over, about $200 trillion. $200 trillion. That's 7 times more than our national debt. Well, the national debt alone, not to include personal debt of the American citizens, which is pretty, I think it's about 16, 18 trillion personal debt, consumer debt. The national debt alone should worry you, because what the government has done is they've borrowed energy, right? Because that money bought something, right? That money that they borrowed, it bought something. So they borrowed energy from the future. Why do I say from the future? Because we are going to have to pay that borrowed money, which takes our energy to earn, back with future labor. Now, how do we do that and not be able to allocate the resources that we need in order to live? That's why I've often said that what we are going to be headed into will be a resource issue. It'll be a resource problem. Because without you being able to trade your energy for the resources that you need, you're not going to get those resources. So how do we go about paying back a debt that needs our energy in order to pay it back, and also being able to produce enough energy ourselves to maintain our standard of living? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's a great question. And I know some people will say, well, the national debt is never meant to be paid back. And yes, I believe you 100%, but are they still taxing you? Are they still taxing you for the interest on that national debt? Yes. So they will tax your energy for the rest of your life and your children's lives. And eventually, people will wake up, countries will wake up, and they are waking up now, that the Ponzi scheme, which is the Federal Reserve note, will one day come to an end. Canadian Prepper did a really good video. I watched it early this morning. And he goes over like the comparisons between the United States like resources and gold and debt and all that kind of stuff to those of Russia. Really good video. Go check it out. And please don't say AP sent me. No, it has nothing to do about that. I just think there's a lot of value in that video. But if you go check that out, you'll yourself understand that the American dream is over. The American dream is over, and it breaks my heart to say it, because it is. Our middle class has been decimated, and the little vestiges of the middle class that is left in this beautiful country of ours, these United States of America, it will be further decimated in the next year or two to come. And that breaks my heart. But all you have to do is look around. And people are going to be very angry. You know, I can talk about this all day, ladies and gentlemen. Just prepare. Get as prepared as you possibly can. I think I'll put out a video titled something like this. If you want to be prepared, but you don't want to be a prepper, do this. Because there is a place. There is a place in the preparedness mentality where if you don't want to be a prepper, if you don't want to live a prepper lifestyle, there are things that you can do. And it's one and done, right? But I think I'll put a video up like that for people that just don't want to call themselves preppers. I don't understand why, because everyone, every single person is a prepper to one extent or another. I wish I could say that we could fight this machine that tries to control our lives. I wish we can say that. And we can, but we will never come together. Like I said, just going through the comments, we will never come together as a people, nevertheless as a nation. It's not going to happen, right? Because when preppers are fighting amongst each other within the prepping community, that tells me, ladies and gentlemen, in a way, there is no hope for us to come together as one and fight the real enemy. There is none. The only thing the only thing, in my opinion, that can cause us to come together as one to fight the real enemy is the suffering that we will endure in the years to come. I hope that you're taking a little bit of the things that we've talked about together here on the Alaska Prepper community over the years, a little bit to heart, and just do what you can and stop fighting with each other. Isn't that pretty? Look at the colors. Look at how pretty the colors are. The only problem with that, with how pretty these colors are, is that the reason they're such pretty colors is because winter's coming. But that's okay. You know, it is what it is, right? We just got to get ready for it, and we'll make it through another winter like we always have. So let me go ahead and call it good for the day, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to make this video too long. I'm assuming that most of you have already signed out because, like I said, I'm a boring person. I truly do appreciate all of your support. I really do. And I want you to know that although I said that a lot of people are not going to make it, hope without preparedness or without action is just hope. Right? Have some hope, take action, and prepare. And learn how to treat your fellow human beings a little bit better. Maybe the way that you would like to be treated. Okay? Because that will go a very long way. Have a great rest of your weekend. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world will be a better place. You know, when I say that, if we all did this, the world would be a better place. And yes, it will. Sometimes it's hard to believe it because of the things that are going on. But I do believe it. And I will continue this journey and hopefully make it to the other side. Not to a utopia, but to a free world, a free country, a republic, the way that it was always meant to be. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out. God bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that made it this far and are still here, I want to share a personal story with you. And it's about forgiveness. Now, I'm not going to mention who I'm talking about, but I am going to tell you the story because it bettered my life. There was a time in my life where I had genuine hate in my heart. And it was towards a person. And it was so bad that I couldn't even be around this person. And it was tearing me up inside. And one day, I finally realized it wasn't because of anything I read. It wasn't because of anything anyone told me. I just came to this realization on my own. And that was, and is, that hate serves only one function, and that is to hurt the person who has hate in their heart. And I told myself, I never told it to the person, but I didn't have to. I told myself, I forgive you. And I know there's always two sides to a story, right? So I'm not saying here that I was 100% right in everything I did. But the hate in my heart was like affecting me. It was affecting me physically, mentally. You know, I had this pit in my stomach that would never go away. But the day that I said, I forgive you, and I meant it, and I really did in my heart forgive this person, everything changed. Everything. I love this person with all my heart today. And because of that forgiveness, I was able to build a relationship with this person. And it was better for me, for my family, and for the person involved. It was like our relationship flourished into one of love instead of hate. What I'm trying to get at here is this, is that had I not taken that first step and told myself, although I feel looking back was somewhat for selfish reasons, right? Because I was just getting tore up inside, and I had to ask myself, how can I stop this? I didn't go to a psychiatrist or psychologist or anything like that. I just found it within myself that this was the answer. That if I forgave, then I would be free. And I learned to forgive. One should never forget, but learn to forgive, because you are not perfect. I am not perfect. But if we have hate in our hearts, we will be living a hollowed life. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my testament to you. That hate will destroy the hater. And hate will give power only unto those whom you hate. I hope that this little message helps someone, because hate is not the answer. I guess it is time to get my potatoes out of the dirt. Look at that. I just noticed that.